Hello, everyone, and welcome to Manchester by Night. This is session 0 before the main story begins. Basically, to fine tune characters for people who haven't played before, and to bridge the gap between the story that happened in the prologue and the story going forward. So, tonight with us, we have Santa, Ranna, Leigh, and Rebecca.
No, wait up. Doo-doo.
These will be our kindred for the evening. We usually have Jack as well, but he is not feeling very well today and will be joining us hopefully again for the next one. Um, so, where we left off at the end of the prologue, the coterie had gone through a harrowing experience, making their way through dirty alleys and hidden rooms underneath the university to locate a missing Tremere who was being held by humans who, sorry, I got distracted by a Discord notification there. Um,
You're fun.
um, Humans who were experimenting on all kinds of creatures, not just kindred, but also Gauru and Fae and other humans too. Um, the coterie fought their way through a monstrosity created by the leader of this group and found the missing kindred, returned him, and were rewarded by the Baron. Since the events that took place, it has been just over a month, and life seemed to return to normal. That is before walking down the street in the night, just exiting a recent show she performed as. You're walking through the crowd, slowly dissipating as the evening gets later and later, heading towards your coterie's haven, or your own personal haven. And you notice something strange amongst the cacophony of music that plays throughout your ears at all times. As you're tuning in and out to different people, your eyes rest on a woman ahead of you. She is silent inside. What do you do? Wait,
Yeah?
did you hear what I said?
No.
Hmm.
Oh. So, you were leaving a show, walking down the street with the crowds thinning as it gets later and later, listening to the usual cacophony of noise, different instruments from different people.
hmm
Your eyes focus on a woman ahead of you who is silent inside. What do you do?
Probably raise her brow, shake her head, and keep on going. She know better
Okay.
than to mess with that shit.
Just ignoring it.
Absolutely. Given the crazy shit she got thrust into last time with that kind of thing, even though it's been a while, seeing this kind of thing, it's like, yeah, that's above my pay grade.
Okay.
She'd
So
probably make like a mental note of it though, just in case anything comes up later about it. But for now, given she's pretty much flying solo at this point, she ain't doing shit.
you
What's the term? Not her monkey, not her circus, not her monkeys.
she don't want to fuck around and find out.
Pretty much.
Um so choosing to ignore the woman ahead of you, you take a slightly different path back through the streets down to Piccadilly into the Queen's Hotel, the haven owned by one Lillian. And also a kind of meeting place and kind of shared haven between the coterie at the moment. We'll switch from there to a darkened alleyway out near Market Street, where Zane, Rebecca, you're on.
I am here and ready.
Zane, what would Zane be doing in his free time?
Definitely be stealthing about. That's literally his main thing. He would definitely be checking out people around, just walking about. He's kind of a sad boy, honestly.
Sneaking around, trying to discover any little secrets you can
Yeah,
find.
just constantly practicing his stealth because that's his main way to get his prey, really.
Mm. So, while on Market Street, you spot someone you hadn't seen in around a month. Your old companion, Anik, who left the coterie shortly after the events of the last mission the Baron sent you on.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to be kind of skulking around in her own way. Do you follow?
Yes.
Okay. You're walking quietly, following her through a kind of labyrinth of back streets and alleyways before she leads you to a large kind of townhouse. Kind of looking around behind her, she slinks inside. What would you do?
Has she closed the door behind her?
Yep, she's closed it too behind her.
I would go up and see if it was locked or not.
You kind of test the handle. It doesn't seem locked.
Okay. I will try to very slowly just open the door slightly to see what I can see, not like fully. I'm not going to announce myself like that.
As you open the door, it's almost like sound you couldn't hear before the door opened kind of now reaches your ears. And you see Anik. Anik is having quite a heated discussion with a very tall woman. She's very tall. She's got dark skin, but it's ashen and not very healthy looking. Her limbs are gangly and long, much more unnatural than that of a human. And Anik kind of is shouting at her, the information was bullshit. I don't know where you got it from, but you might need to check your sources. The tall lady kind of stopping for a moment, puts just kind of not even like covering her mouth, just puts a hand on Anik's face to kind of stop her from talking. And then a pair of very wide, round, black eyes look at you. Zane.
Oh shit.
It's like, we have company.
I guess you do now.
Come on out, little mouse. I won't bite yet.
I mean no harm, I was just casually eavesdropping your conversation.
Have you kind of like revealed yourself now?
Yeah, I've been caught out.
And he kind of looks over, is like, Zane.
I'm sorry, I had to see where you was going.
Why did you have to see where I was going?
I was curious, practicing my skills as well, which obviously I need to practice a bit more, don't I?
Mm-hmm. Well, to be fair, I don't think you could hide much from that one.
Yeah, I don't think I can.
Anyway, you won't tell anyone about this place.
Don't worry, I've got no one to tell.
Now go. You're not involved in this yet. Hopefully you won't be.
Yet.
Depends whether the Baron gets involved.
That makes more sense.
Get out of here. Don't tell the others you've seen me.
Okay, I'll leave you to it. And Zane will slowly close the door and leave.
Yeah. I'm guessing then you would kind of remember that you're meant to be meeting the coterie relatively soon
Yeah.
and scurry on back towards the Queen's Hotel.
Yes.
Now we'll move to Lillian. What would Lillian be doing in her free time?
How late is it?
It's probably just turned around 10 p.m.
Maybe she's catching a snack from someone who's gone to bed a bit early.
It's kind of like sneaking your way into one of the patrons' rooms, having a bit of lunch.
The early dreams are the best kind.
Mm-hmm. As you're having a snack, you manage to drink and stop yourself from draining fully like you do most nights. As you're leaving the room and heading down the hall of the Queen's Hotel, you're going past the window, you hear an ethereal singing. Beautiful and light.
Pauses to look out the window, obviously.
As you look out, you kind of see down below a woman dressed in all white, standing in the alley below with a human kind of walking towards her as she sings.
That's interesting. Is it easy to tell that this is another vampire?
I'd like you to roll me a intelligence plus awareness.
Success?
Mm-hmm. As you're kind of looking, she does bear the kind of traits of a kindred. Kind of pale skin, undeathly look to her. But you've never quite seen a kindred that is hunting the way she is. There's been people who use their presence and stuff like that, but it's never usually hypnosis, as this guy seems to be under.
Fascinating. They are technically hunting in the general vicinity of someone else's space, though, correct?
I mean, you don't own the land by.
Hmm.
They don't own the alley behind the Queen's Hotel.
Well, if I don't own the land behind the Queen's Hotel, I'm not going to bother with it.
Okay.
As long as she doesn't leave the mess out there.
So, after that, I assume you'll just prepare for your soon to be arriving guests.
Of course.
And last, but certainly not least, Santa. Or should I say Baxter?
Yes.
You are currently in the Baron's Elysium.
Hmm.
When you entered the territory, he summoned you, asking you to report. You've just arrived at the Elysium, so I'll leave how you approach him up to you. As he sits across the room.
What does he look like?
Francis Mortain is a tall, broad man with long, dark hair, neatly combed back over his shoulders, and a neatly trimmed beard across the bottom of his face. His light grey eyes that are just kind of staring through the darkness at the various people, because you're not alone in this room. There are other kindred and what are kindly referred to as blood dolls around.
He's that kind of individual.
Mm-hmm.
We'll approach. You called for me?
I did. It's not often we get someone as old as you wandering in without prior invitation. So, what is your business in my territory?
Hmm. I see the mistake I made. My business is simple. Business. There's an opening of a morgue. A building that I have purchased and wish to live at for some time, if you would allow it.
I will allow it. But I need a favor in return.
Of course, you are a baron. Just ask, and I shall do.
I want you to meet with a certain coterie that resides at the Queen's Hotel tonight. There is something stirring in the city this evening. And I want them to investigate it. Here, I've had you
Interesting.
a letter. Pass this to Lillian Morgan.
Oh, Miss Morgan. All right. I will do as you ask. Am I free to leave then?
Go.
Have a good night and a wonderful afterlife. And he will leave.
Mm-hmm. And as you leave, you make your way through the streets of Manchester and over to the Queen's Hotel in Piccadilly Gardens. Before you stands a very large hotel. Grand, almost. And do you go in?
Oh, of course.
You step inside. Lillian, who would be on the front desk?
If not John, then I imagine one of the few employees that I have.
We'll say it's John.
Perhaps all right.
This late at night, he'd probably be at the entrance for now until you call for him.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of, as you enter, a man looks up at you from the desk. Very much, as you can tell, not your normal human. He goes, Can I help you?
Yes. I'm here to see the lady of the house, Miss Morgan.
Ah. 1 second. And he'll
Wonderful.
get up and stalk off. At this point, the rest of you have gathered on the top floor of the Queen's Hotel, which serves as a kind of private floor specifically for kindred. And you've all gathered. This is your haven, Lillian. What would you want this private space to be?
I imagine it's probably very lavish. At least the meeting area would be.
Mm-hmm.
Comfortable seats, cushions, perhaps a mini bar.
Mm-hmm. So you're all gathered in this space when your ghoul, John, walks in. Ma'am, there's
Yes,
someone
ma'am.
asking for you at the front.
A man or a man?
I believe he's one of you, miss.
Right.
On the
I'll
record,
go-
I'd like to say I'm a man.
Just now, John just walks in. Did you follow John up?
I'd say yeah. Baxter's not one for manners.
So you see a new face before you. Would you like to describe Baxter?
Yes. So you see a relatively tall, frail-looking man, probably around late 50s, early 60s. Long, sort of dark brown hair reaches just a little bit beyond his shoulders. He's got on what seems at one point to have been fancy clothing, fancy sort of professional black and whites. However, they are ragged, not dirty, they're clean, but they are ragged, wrinkled, and in some places the coat is torn or frayed at the end. He also has a top hat, but the top hat at the very top has a small little piece of black fabric that kind of comes off of it, which denotes the man as working within the undertaker business. And he's got these small little spectacles. Something important to note, though, is although he's been introduced as a kindred, when he smiles, he does not have fangs. His teeth are just naturally very sharp looking, almost like a predator's, like a shark.
Ah, cookie cutter.
So
A
yeah.
tool that I have no use for. Miss Morgan, I believe.
Indeed. Might I have the pleasure
Wonderful.
of knowing your name?
B.B. Wolf with an E at your service. You can simply call me Mr. Wolf.
Very well, Mr. Wolf. And how may I be of assistance?
Ah, yes, I come bearing good or bad news, I don't know which, from your delightful, lovely Mr. Baron Moraine.
Ah. Well, thank you.
He will hand the letter over. As he does, though, he'll be like,
But who are your delightful associates? Don't leave me in the dark with making new friends, my dear.
Lillian just nods. Oh. Out of character, I'm terrible with names. I'm certain that they'll introduce themselves if they so fit.
So, Leigh and Rebecca, you can introduce your characters to Baxter. What was that?
Did nothing come through?
No, nothing came.
Oh,
through,
sorry.
no.
I hear you
What
now,
happened?
but like,
Same goes
My phone
for-
must have my phone had a little freak out. Sorry. I would have said, I'm Zane. Nice to meet you.
are you invisible at the moment, or
Oh
can
no, I'm
Baxter see you?
I'm here. You can see me.
Wonderful! You look only slightly worse than the corpses I work upon. That's an upgrade.
and Leigh, would Cass introduce herself to the new person in the room?
Oh, we must know how his music sounds. Leigh, darling, are you there?
Leigh,
Leigh.
You've picked a bad time to come to me.
what's you good?
I'm in the bathroom.
Oh,
Oh,
Leigh's in the
then
loop.
we'll come back to it. We'll come
we'll
back
come
to
back
it.
to this.
Ah, our musician appears to be
Predisposed.
Predisposed at the moment.
Also,
It's
would I be
alright.
there? Because I
I'm a-
technically didn't get any invites or anything like that. I saw someone who were
No,
music. I was like, no,
because-
and then walked off back home.
Well, no, I said
Oh.
that you were heading towards Lillian's thing because all of you were going to be meeting there this evening.
Would I have
Honey,
that
you're
reason to
always
go to a meeting?
invited.
Well, yeah, you're all part of the same coterie.
And the coterie is.
It's your group of vampires, kind
It's
of
the
like
inner circle for ourselves.
It's
Yeah.
a group of yeah. It's basically you guys are allies.
Okay.
yeah,
So basically,
And you'd
business
always be
Yeah.
invited.
had to go for business.
yeah. Plus,
Mm.
if this also counts as your group haven, because technically, having a personal haven is an advantage that you have to take. So it'd be, unless you have that advantage, you'd essentially just be finding different places to stay every night, essentially.
You'd essentially be a hobo, darling, and I don't see you doing that.
Because having a haven is one of the advantages you can take on character creation. Basically means you've got a kind of semi-secure place that you own to kind of stay in.
Do I not have that?
I don't think you took the haven advantage. Let me check.
It should be noted, if you don't have the haven advantage, you're not homeless. You just
No.
don't get any of the things with haven. So you can still have a home. It's just not well defended or accustomed to your vampire existence.
You don't have that. You took herd, groupies, fame, beautiful, and iron gullet.
Okay.
For instance,
So I do
Baxter
have a
has
place.
a
It's just not a
haven with
protected
more.
place.
Yeah, it's just not
Yeah,
really. It's not as secure as it you'd probably want from a personal haven. Basically
normal
means
mundane place compared to like a place with secret tunnels or ghosts or guns or stuff like that.
Specifically ghosts for a certain future person.
But yeah, so you can have like a flat or like a little place, but like it's just not well defended and it's fairly easy to find.
Yeah,
if anyone's looking for you.
I mean, for Kaz, I'd imagine it'd be like the music hall.
The music hall.
Yeah, where she performs.
So you just
Probably
She is
have
about Cavian, so bumming up for the
owns
music
the
hall
theater.
is in method.
She probably
just
would have
live
like
in
a
the
room in the back there somewhere. It's just that given she also performs there, it won't be the most secure place.
Yeah. Also, you can do that. You have a little room. I still just have the image in my head of you just hanging from the rafters, though.
What is it? Interview with a Vampire, where all the vampires live under the Venetian theater. Yeah, that's just what hit my head. It's just she's under the Venetian theater.
But tonight,
There we
you
go.
specifically did have plans to meet up with Lillian and the others
Yeah,
to kind
tonight was a business meeting.
Yeah. Because coteries not only are allies, they can help with business investments or kind of like general things that you need. That you're allies, but you're also kind of trade partners in that sense as well for whatever jobs you do. Plus, Lillian does have a very lavish and secure haven.
I mean, let's
And the
face it,
drinks
this is
are
also a
always
good way.
fresh on tap.
This is also a good excuse to explain what that kind of stuff was to people who don't know it.
Yeah. Havens can be a bit weird. So, like for when I made my prologue character Anique, she had a haven, which is what Zane found when he followed her today.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't even know that was a thing until today.
Yeah.
So, there we go.
Oh, yeah. It's an advantage you can take when you're building your character. And it's something you can upgrade or acquire later as well, once you've gotten some XP.
I don't know what my first acquirement is. Anyway.
Which is why, although Baxter, who is new to the city, stated that his reason for coming to the city was because he bought property. That's his haven.
Yeah.
Which is his.
So she'll probably come back in after. It's just seeing all the commotion from the other room and just. Yeah, that explains it.
Oh, there you are.
Look, it's not my fault if you lot can't stomach me drinking from a non-fresh source.
Oh, it's fine by me. whatever you like.
Yes, but I know some of the others can usually get uppity about it.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
fresh. Fresh meat is overrated. I prefer the despoiled and the decayed.
And who's this?
BB
Guest?
Wolf with an E at your service.
And he will pull out a little business card, handing it to you, which will read, Wolf and Flowers, home for the despoiled and decayed.
Right. Kaz, you probably heard of me.
Do you have a last name?
If I do, I've probably forgotten it long by now. It's just easier
Have
to
I
go
had
by
you in a
one.
coffin before? Have I had you on a table? Have you died?
Haven't we all died in some way, if only that?
True. No, I don't think I know you. Why? Are you famous? Are you important? Should I?
I'm a musician. I'm quite popular around these parts.
Oh, that's why. That's why. The only musicians I know are the ones buried 6 feet under.
I just imagine his music is probably like that kind of organ you use for like a funeral march.
Yeah, but it's really fucking out of tune.
It's like the
Yeah, I
kind of
imagine
organ
it
you would
being-
see that's mainly there as a display piece and not been kept too long. So it's just like you try and
like, this
press
is the
any of
thing.
the keys, it's just wonky as hell.
You
Yeah,
just
it's
get a
like
wall
a
of dust the
funeral
moment you
one.
hit it.
Yeah.
Funeral one that's out of tune. It's just very discordant.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like-
Like a funeral one that's there for as a display piece rather than to actually be used. And then when someone goes to use it, they realize it's not been upkept in a while.
Mm.
So it's just, let me try it, and all the keys are wrong.
Yep. So, did you handed the letter?
Of course. Now that I've met those that the letter is going to.
So you kind of caught us all in the middle of some kind of meeting here. I'm assuming you're here
I-
for some reason.
He brought a letter. Lillian just
From
kind
the
of-
good Baron.
Oh God. I need to do the reference now, Rebecca. You know what reference is coming. He handed a letter. C for cranberries.
Oh, shit, go. He just wrote a letter. Do, 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 do.
So what's on the letter?
Oh, I was about to find out. Just nail extending and using it as a letter opener.
So you slice open the envelope, pull out the parchment within. The letter itself is addressed to the coterie as a whole. It says, given your performance on the last job I sent you on, I wish for you to investigate another matter. There has been more disappearances in the city. Not just Tremere this time. Many. There have been 5 kindred gone missing in the last month. We need you and your coterie to investigate. Feel free to make use of the new one here. He owes me a favor for letting him stay in the city, and has agreed to assist you with this task as repayment for that.
Lillian slow smile at the fact that she's been said that, hey, this dude's going to be helping that we don't know.
It does continue on the reverse, saying, you will want to firstly... Hold on, I've got the... Where's my map?
Oh, I can't believe they even left that in. Someone must have been dictating this note.
You could just tell by the way he started writing that he got distracted.
Yeah.
What can you do? Some
What about
vampires have to do everything. Some
where?
are very particular.
Fair.
I'm trying to find the street.
Oh God, are you doing a Jack situation of using literal maps?
Yes, because I
Yes,
have a
they are.
little map of Victorian Manchester.
You could always take and put the
Use
map
it.
correctly
I
into
can't wait till we
the.
find Victorian Cafe Martinez.
I'll put it in the D&D chat, but like it's.
No, I was saying you could take and set it up on the roll
I know.
20.
I will, but also there's that too. Put it in there as well.
Ah,
Right now the splash screen's just the Queen's Hotel, which is your
I wonder how,
Elysium.
I wonder how accurate that is.
Hmm.
for gameplay settings, it's fine.
Where's the coin? Where's the coin exchange?
It was just called the Exchange back then. Sorry, give me one
Before
moment.
that, it was just called the change.
I'm actually curious if any
Ow.
coin exchange actually did like exchange coin.
Probably.
Most definitely.
Most things have an origin.
Manchester coin.
That was the best. Yes, found it. So, the place you should start looking for information is Whitney Grove. It is
Oh,
plus.
so just while Dion's looking that up, yes, it's an area where British people used to gather to exchange different kinds of grains. Over in America, they were called grain exchanges.
Interesting.
Right, give me some of that barley. I'll give you some wheat.
So, is it Whitby?
How many
No, it's
grain?
Whitby.
Well, I certainly hope that there's a list of names at the bottom of this letter.
How many grains of rice does a bale of oats get me?
Well, I suppose it depends on who you're going to for it.
Yes. So the place you're going to be looking at, the place you should go, is. Why is it showing me that in America? I said Manchester.
Because America.
Stop being a bitch. Um,
Well, there is Manchester, New Hampshire, so
yeah.
you may have to get a bit more specific.
Um. So the place you're going to start your search is Whitney Grove. It is a street off New Brown Street and Corporation Street. It's like
Hmm.
doesn't help that a lot of the fucking streets have changed names since like the Victorian era. But yes, that is where I want. That is where I want you to start. It is where 3 of the 5 have gone missing.
All right. location shouldn't be too difficult to get to.
Hmm.
I imagine that I've read this out loud.
I'll say you would have read it out loud.
Including the weird, awkward parts.
Yes. I believe that is a little bit of ad lib. Or whatever it's
A
called.
little. Well, as the Baron stated, I am at your services.
Hmm.
Who knows? Perhaps we'll learn from each other. Oh, well, you'll at least learn from me.
Perhaps. Hmm.
There it is.
So we know better about you. What is your disposition?
That's an interesting way of putting it. Well, my disposition. Well, I'm an optimist of the pessimist kind. I like long walks in the park. I enjoy a good meal over candle flames. My partner was eaten alive by wolves, and, actually, no, I might have done that one. Um, hmm. Oh, yes, and I normally detest the living. Life is a plague.
Fascinating.
And yet somehow also I feel like dodging the question that was asked.
What was the question? Be truthful, come on. I'm not going to get it if you just hide it behind mystery and shadows.
I believe the question that was being asked, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Lillian. What clan do you belong to?
Yes.
Hmm,
Polite about it.
that's a good one. The Coyfields. No, shit. The Hatfields. No, fuck. Da, 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 da.
He kind of sits there for a while thinking to himself.
The
Before
sub
kind of leans down into his coat pocket.
No, no, no. Well, of course I'm going to tell them. Why shouldn't I tell them?
the sub part is
Now that's rude.
I don't know what the equivalent of an insight roll would be in this game for us to see if he is genuinely this scatterbrained or if he's fucking with us.
He'll look up.
My partner has stated and told me that I should apparently tell you the truth. I am a gangrel.
Oh, there is
And
an
he's gonna
insight
lift
check.
his coat pocket, and there's a little rat that pops out.
There is
And
inside
this is
usually
corpse.
next else, so
Oh. Charming.
So what would I roll to see if he is actually trying to fuck with us?
give me a wits plus insight.
Wits plus insight.
Remember, roll on the roller, please.
I would do, but I have
A
no
counter
idea.
roll I need to make.
So /V roll. It pops up
Yes.
with a bar.
Cool.
And then put one for hunger.
Ooh,
Cool.
beast
And then
failure.
that cool is the amount of dots you've got in both skills, kind of added
Okay.
together. And then click next to it and click hunger and add 1.
Would a hunger be needed literally for an insight, or is that just for skills?
You have to roll a hunger for every roll.
Mhm.
Did we have to in the previous one? Because I don't remember it.
Yes.
Oh wait, yeah, no, because it was
Yes.
the last number.
Yes.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
there a counter roll that you want me to make?
Make me. Oh, you're not lying. So I'd say make me composure plus resolve.
Composure plus resolve.
Insight plus what, sorry?
Wits plus insight.
So 4. So I just type
Also 4.
4 in
You
there?
just- Yep.
0 successes. There's no way you can fail this unless you get 0 successes as well.
Yeah, so you do it like you'd put the 4 in that box
Yeah.
where it says full. Click next to that box, and it'll come up with another list. And you click hunger,
Yeah.
and then you just put 1 in there, and then it'll come out like that. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your first one still counts. I'll take the last number as your thing, but that's just how the roller works.
Confusing, but okay.
The scatterbrained is the scatterbrained nature is him messing with you, but when he says gangrel, he is being genuine, and you do see the little rat that he was talking to poking its head out of his coat pocket or his vest pocket.
Yeah, he does seem like a gangrel.
Should just raise a brow at this behavior. How much do you think we can even trust this? I mean, I know it's really outside of our situation anyway to not trust this.
I imagine if the Baron's vouching for him, he can't be worth less than nothing.
So who wants to send a message out to Jax to get him in on this? Because I'm assuming it's not a case of exclude him.
Oh, I can imagine John's already sent out something.
So a messenger.
Say that again?
He kind of toddles in. It's like, I sent the messenger, man.
Beautiful work as always.
That was fast, but also not unexpected.
Well, he's the only one.
Miss
Not
Morgan,
Yes.
is this spectacle of man meat yours?
Oh, certainly.
If he
Yes.
dies, can I have him?
No, not unless you're going to replace his parts.
I could very easily do that. But I can take no. I'm a monster, not an asshole.
Lillian's just ear to ear grinning politely. Very well. Perhaps seeing how you are in possession of a morgue, you said? Perhaps we can do something on that part.
Oh, of course. Most funerals are closed casket anyways.
Marvelous. Anywho, shall we head for the Withy Grove? Unless we have other things to discuss. We could probably pick up Jax on the way.
I suppose, yes. Does he know the reason why not?
Does Zane have any thoughts on this?
Zane is muted at the moment.
He would agree with everyone in terms of, is it about Jackson getting in?
Getting Jax and then head to the location.
Yeah, he would agree with it and think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Wait just a moment. You had me reveal my disposition. That one's obvious,
He says, pointing to Zane.
the face is always the giveaway. It's disgusting and I love it. What about you two? I think I can guess what you are, my dear. He says, looking at you, Lillian. Just from the nice little finger knife trick, I can do something similar, but not as horrific as that. But you, my little musical siren, could be a number of things. Ministry, or cult of set, or...
Hang on,
Or is your cue to say what you are?
I was just looking up something. Because I wanted to look up something to do a funny pun, and then I was like, wait, shit, I don't know any off the top of my head. Because I know that you also have to be careful with which ones you save for this kind of thing.
Oh, yes.
So,
Right, we're all anarchs here. It's fine.
no, I was saying that out of character.
I know. I continued using the game. That wasn't it. That was in character, but it was out of character in character.
So just look to him,
He's going to summon
look
Granny.
to Zane, then look to him again and go, why, was it that obvious that he's a ravenous?
No. I've known many Ravnos in my time. Like little birds on the wind.
Never auto assume someone's a Nosferatu just because it looks like they hit every tree, sticking the bloody ugly tree on their way down.
I am really not that bad looking compared to some other ones. Have you seen?
For a Ravnos, yes. For a Nosferatu, no.
My dear, you are disgusting, and I love it.
As for myself, Malkavian.
Ooh. Tell me my future. No, don't. That'd be lame and boring. Anyways, now that we are all in amicable agreement and having accords to what we are or who we aren't or whatchamacallit, shall we get a move on?
I forget, what clan is Jack's again?
Bruja.
Bruja.
Which one's the Bruja?
Same as the Baron.
Oh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I see it.
I'm certain you'll get an idea for Jax when we meet up.
Perhaps. Or perhaps the Baron told me what you all were, and I just like having a nice conversation. Or perhaps he didn't, and maybe I'm lying. Are we going by foot or by wheel? I could go by wings.
I imagined wheel would be easier for everyone.
Wheel works.
Fine.
John is a marvelous driver. You'll love it.
I'll put the carriage around, ma'am. And he heads off to prepare.
I love one that obeys orders without an order being given. So,
He
I know
picks
your
good
name.
cues well.
Wonderful. And you are Cass. Who exactly are you, my... I was going to say something funny and then it left my mind. What's your name? Is it Sludge? The Nosferatu.
I think they're talking to you.
The Nosferatu who's muted.
Rebecca.
Me?
I miss you.
Yes!
My name is Zane.
Zane.
Correct.
Look, kid, as you get older, you're going to find with a name like Zane, nobody's gonna be afraid of you. Zane. Wait, nope. There it is. Maybe someone will be afraid of you.
And he continues walking.
So amongst your conversations, you head down and out the front of the Queen's Hotel, where John is waiting with your transportation. He opens the door for you. As you all pile in.
Yep.
Of course.
I'm guessing as soon as you leave the door, Zane just goes invisible.
Yep.
I just imagine the odd look of that where it's like, we all
There's
get in the
just a-
carriage and we leave the door open just for a little while longer for Zane to get in.
There's just a
Pretty
divot
much.
where Zane's sitting on the cushion.
But you head out into the night, ready to start another potentially perilous investigation at the behest of the Baron. And though it's rather short, we're going to leave that here.
Nothing wrong with a bit of a short session, dear.
Just because then next time you can pick up Jax and go to start the actual.
That's fair. I mean, this was just a session 0, just to ease us back into this.
Yeah. Did you all enjoy it?
Yes.
Yes.
I am curious who the mute person was, but in character-wise, I'm not messing with that shit. That's how you go on adventures you don't want to go on.
That's how you end up in dark tunnels with creatures chasing after you and horrific abominations and monstrosity. It's how you end up in a Santa campaign.
Exactly. And I had a business meeting I had to get to. I'm not going to miss on a business meeting because I chased someone who was mute.
And Zane met
Gotta love it.
the too long-limbed friend of Anik
Yeah.
with her big, buggy black eyes.
Yeah.
Oh,
As
God.
soon as that you told me about those eyes turning around, I was like, ah, shit. And got it.
Zane said, nah.
Too much stuff.
The long-limbed
She has
thing.
really good aspects.
Santa, it's the jiggly librarian.
It is the Jiggly Librarian.
I imagine that Lillian also mentioned the person directly behind the hotel.
Oh, you mentioned the singing lady behind the hotel.
Yeah, before Mr. Wolf showed up. That was probably what she was discussing at first.
Would any of you two mentioned the things you've seen?
That depends. Are we getting
This is
time? Are we getting time next session for the carriage ride to our place, or will we just start it as we exit the carriage? Because I'd assume that Kaz would be mentioning it in the carriage, just as like a way to break up the silence while we travel.
Yeah, you can do that. Zane, would you be mentioning anything?
No, I got instructed not to, so he's going to respect that for now. But he will keep it fine.
It's like, I'm not talking about the weird lady. I'm not talking about the weird lady.
He's traumatized by the weird lady already. Been a great
I imagine Kaz just reveals her thing, and Zay just perks up going, yeah, I had a weird encounter as well. I'm not allowed to talk about it, but it was extremely weird.
I imagine you could just say that. And everyone goes,
woman.
what? She was really tall as well. She was like
I can't
7.5 foot tall.
I can't talk about who I met, but all I can say is they weren't male, they weren't small, they had normal eyes, they had normal proportions.
They didn't have horns.
Just for a better description, just a dark, ashy-skinned woman with kind of like coiled black hair and
Also,
very dark black eyes.
I feel like
But
I need to state it because each
7.5
time
foot,
like
and like limbs are way too long.
I feel like I need to state it because I've been doing it each time we've been doing vampire games.
Mm.
Ran out of J2, so I didn't have anything else to drink, so I'm drinking cranberry juice at the moment. And I've started to realize I'm drinking deep red drinks anytime we're doing vampire.
Yep. I can't
Also-
do that as Baxter.
Just the thing, like
You can, it's just you
above
need
the
jerky.
game. I think Santa's probably the only one here who would have heard of this clan, but she was a Kiasid.
Yeah.
What?
They're weird.
It's an Eastern clan, which means they're technically not actually kindred, but they are. It's a whole thing. It's
See,
a whole thing.
The only exposure to
Oh,
like the Eastern clan things I've had is in the Bloodlines game where you fight the giant like fish person.
yes.
Like their clan.
So Eastern clans are vampires, but they're not
Well,
kindred.
no.
They're not Canaanites. Sorry, they're not Canaanites.
No, because Kiasid are descended technically from the Sombras.
Oh, they're not an Eastern clan then.
No,
What
they're
am I
not.
thinking of? What am I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of Kitsune. Sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking of the Kitsunes.
Yeah.
Basically, in they kind of have a weird thing because like they have a bunch of different nicknames.
Hmm.
Malkavians tend to call them broken butterflies, but they're also known as the weirdlings or the scarlets. They're basically kind of looked at as half vampire, half fae. Like,
Meanwhile, I'm just here as a gangrel mate.
yeah,
Vampire.
they're basically like fae-blooded vampires in a sense. That's kind of what they look at. Like, but they're also like extremely polite, but really intelligent. They also practice alchemy, which is, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I had fun. I hope you all enjoyed Wolf.
Yeah. What
I
the
like
His
some of the
name
more
is,
ones.
by the way, his name's a two for
Oh, God.
pun. He's a gangrel, so he's got the name Wolf. Wolf is also the medieval term for cancer. When you find out more about him, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It oddly may have been a good time to stop because I am noticing my little voice thing there keeps
Yeah,
dipping
Yeah.
into
it's
red.
doing that thing again. Yep, it's doing that thing that it was doing yesterday.
Yeah, you're heavily roboting for me.
So are you.
Yeah. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you like this, check out the Darlings over on this channel as well. Star Plunder and Sarsfield Frog over on Spotify. Next the pass over on Chocobo Keeper's channel, and we will see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.